Welcome to the class of 2022 White Coats, but a very important and joyous beginning. We welcome you into our family. And we will be entering into a tremendously important career, significant responsibilities that you will have to your. I will welcome the opportunity for you to be mentored by your faculty. Journey. I will look forward and be anxious to watch person for the physician assistant.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a loud room, and I feel like I'm screaming at you guys, and I walk out of there, I'm the worst the vision's gotten. And I took a do as I say, not as I do. It was about a gentleman, and his name was Kevin Hines. Kevin was 19 years old, and in September of 2000, he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. And why did you do that? What was going on at the time? And Kevin had been diagnosed 2.5 years previously with bipolar affective disorder. To his friends, he couldn't really talk to them about that. And he said that over the 2.5, I couldn't reach out to anybody. I wanted somebody to. We don't always reach in as well as we should. Back in the 1960s, he had been in World War II and isolated. And he said one of the things that kept him going were they knew in the field that the time of greatest risk for a mental health disorder. So and of course, being a researcher, half the people being discharged. Sure enough, 2 or 3 years later, when they started looking at the results of this, it's something as simple as reaching out with a letter saying, "I hope you're doing a little bit of human contact," went a long way. Let me give you a quiz while we're here. Tell me 3 of the most successful corporate. Amazon, give me another. Google. Corporation, or when we think about corporations in general, what makes Google? What about healthcare? How do we identify successful healthcare corporations? Why did you say UK Healthcare University? Nobody said Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Nobody said Pfizer. Okay? Healthcare-related companies that make a lot of money. Healthcare-related companies that make a lot. And so one of the things I really want to emphasize is that medicine's, even though it's a field where you can do well and you can certainly make, sending out the letters in the 1960s was trying to reach in. So I really want to encourage you all to reach in to medicine, reach in when you're in the patient's room, and really be interested and involved with what's going on with your patients as you go through training and then when you get out in practice. And the real reason I brought these, I'm going to read a quote. Medicine has changed a lot. It's changed a lot since I went through medical school back in the late 80s. And just since then, there's been a tremendous difference. Dr. Saha was a young man then, and I was scared to death of him at that time. I'm still a little scared of him, but not as much as I was then. But this is a quote from a physician named William Osler, and you may have heard of him. He's a famous physician, he's written some books, but he was practicing. This is from 1904, so 116 years ago. And he was addressing some graduates, some medical students, nurses, and practitioners of medicine, and this was a graduation ceremony again in 1904. My message is chiefly to you, students of medicine, since with the ideals entrained now, your future is indissolubly bound. They used a lot of big words back then. So the things that you're doing now are going to be ingrained in you, and it's the way you're going to practice and spend the rest of your lives. The choice lies open. The paths are plain before you. Always seek your own interest. Make of a high and sacred calling a sordid business. Regard your fellow creatures as so many tools of the trade. And if your heart's desire is for riches, they may be yours. You will have bartered away the birthright of a noble heritage, transduced the physician's well-deserved title of friend of man, and falsified the best traditions of an ancient and honorable guild. So there's so much more to this profession than simply a job. And I just want to encourage all of you to think about that as you go through. School's hard. I understand that. It's going to be difficult, 2.5 years, very difficult. Those times when it seems the most difficult, think about what you're going to be doing, though, when you get out. It's a time-honored profession, and you're going to be joining a guild of professionals who have a sacred duty to reach in. And with that, I'd like to introduce, I better get my program. Because if not, Julia's already told me what to do once or twice today, and I know I'll get in trouble. I'm going to introduce Cheryl Vanderford, who's an assistant professor in the program, and she's going to introduce our keynote speaker.
So good afternoon and welcome. I am Cheryl Vanderford. I'm actually an alumna from the program. So before I actually introduce the keynote speaker, I kind of want to just let you know that I very much want to take time to note how the students feel right now. You have anticipated this day, if you were like me, for probably at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You're very, very excited. This man sitting right here that let me pass through him, he was the one that actually put the white coat on me, so he's in tons and tons of pictures that I will never forget that, so that's quite a memory. So hold on to that. In the next 30 months, there will be times like anatomy, physiology, other stuff like that, where you will probably feel rather, how am I going to get through this? So just remember what you're feeling like right now and let that help you get through that. So without any further ado, beginning this year, we have decided to choose an alumna and established exceptional alumni from the program to do our keynote speaker. So this year we chose Ryan Hunton. He is an emergency medicine PA from Frankfurt Regional Medical Center. He graduated from our program in 2017. He served on the American Academy of Physician Assistants, or AAPA, and on the Physician Assistant Education Association, or PAEA. He's also served as an ambassador for the UK College of Health Sciences. He did complete a residency in the ED at UK. He is part of the National Guard and also a part-time instructor for the UKPA program. He's also completing coursework toward a doctorate in health sciences at AT Steele University. Having lunch with him this afternoon, I also learned that you had how many undergrad? 5 undergrad majors before he completed being a PA, so he is quite knowledgeable. At this time, before we actually have him start, though, we would like to go ahead and welcome him with an award in recognition of his exceptional leadership. Did you know this was coming? Did you know this was coming? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl. So I want to welcome the distinguished guests, the special guests, Dean Lephart, Dr. Saha, Dr. Badger, Dr. Black, class of 2022, any alumni here and their family members. Congratulations on this milestone of entering PA school and receiving your first of at least one more white coat. As she said, I'm Ryan Hunton. I'll be saying a lot of the same themes that you've heard from Dean Lephart and Dr. Black, just with some millennial adjectives like solid and super. So you'll recognize a lot of the same themes. I'll begin with just talking about how a lot of people say your journey in medicine begins with you entering PA school, and I've always thought that that's not exactly the case. I think your journey began long before you came here. You've been training in either healthcare work or non-healthcare work. You've been earning undergraduate degrees. And you've been building skills that have made you prepared for this moment. You were right for this moment. You were selected among a highly competitive field of candidates, and your immediate potential is to finish this program and to establish a career in medicine at its baseline, and many of you will do much more than that. In the process, unexpected opportunities will come up, some of which you couldn't even imagine, and your job will be to recognize these opportunities and to seize them when you see fit. Talking about opportunities outside of PA school in service, advocacy, and outreach, and then some opportunities that aren't even listed here. Opportunities that are uniquely available to you because now you are taking on a leadership position, a professional position. I remember the first time when I was in your seat in 2015, just 5 years ago, and I was a new lieutenant at that time, no longer a certified nursing assistant. and no longer an undergraduate, still enrolled in Dr. McPherson's gross anatomy class. Is he still teaching that, by the way? Yeah, getting used to all of that, moving at a quick pace and getting hit by a big burst of water from a fire hose. You guys are all in that situation. The worry from getting into PA school had passed, and it was replaced with the worry of succeeding in PA school. And it made me feel feelings. It made me argue about grades sometimes, but my goal going into school was to not focus on the grades, to focus on becoming a solid clinician, and to focus on the process of earning an education. And I struggled with that just like you are probably struggling with it and will continue to struggle as you go on this year. The end result, like I said, was to become a more solid clinician. And to this day, now 3 years out of school, it's still my goal. It's still a constant improvement process, something that I take very seriously, and that I take seriously not just for myself, but for each patient that I see. In one sense, the white coat stands for virtues that help to serve this mission. Virtues like altruism, responsibility, duty, honor, and compassion. The first white coat ceremony was at Columbia University just over 25 years ago. It was created by this guy named Dr. Arnold Gold at, like I said, Columbia University in New York. And he had a vision that medical students should learn about the responsibilities and expectations of the profession as they're entering in, not as they're getting out, so that they can reflect on this while they're in school. In part, your reflection on the expectations and responsibilities that are ahead of you and your own vision of your developing identity as a physician assistant, your oath that you're about to take, the professional oath that Professor Farringer will be administering shortly. Your reflection on these things is just as important, if not more important, than the clinical acumen, the skills, techniques, and knowledge that you will develop in your next 30 months in this program. It will define your career, and it will define you as a professional. It will define how your patients see you. So I would encourage you, as part of this mission, to get involved both in healthcare and non-healthcare things outside of school. Focus on your grades, focus on being a great clinician, but focus on the humanity of it too. Take unique opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. For example, volunteering at a free medical clinic, getting involved in advocacy work like the AAPA, the PAEA, the UKPA organization, which just had a victory yesterday, by the way. Also, mentoring young people and getting involved in communities and churches. These are all things that will make a difference and spread your circle of influence outside of just your class or outside of yourself. It will broaden your circle of influence. This involvement for me was busy at times, but I can tell you, regardless of whatever involvement I had, I never regretted it. Looking back, the first thing that I remember is the people that I met, the opportunities that led to other opportunities. And even though it was busy, it was something that I do not regret. As I wrote in a Journal of Physician Assistant Education article about a year ago, it takes a village to develop a PA educator. It also takes a village to develop a PA student, and you are amongst a village at the University of Kentucky with these faculty here and with the alumni that you have in front of you. This white coat ceremony, in a sense, is your welcome to this village. And just as I have been welcomed to this village, you should know that it comes with a responsibility. Regardless of what opportunities you take, I'm confident that the village, the faculty, your classmates, and alumni will help you to succeed in whatever mission you choose. And it is not a one-size-fits-all mission. It will look very different for many of you. So all that to say, it's a responsibility that I can say on the other side has been an awesome responsibility. And it's something that has enriched my life, and I hope it will enrich yours as well. Again, I congratulate you on this special day, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm really grateful to be here.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Schuer, and I am the Director of Graduate Studies for the PA program, and it's my honor to be able to present to you the class of 2022, right? So I think at this time, we're going to start lining up, and I'm going to be reading the names, and we're going to be coding the students. I think it might work a little bit better if we tried to hold our applause till the end. And the crowd surfing and all of that, we'll try to save to the end. Yeah. Okay. we have some special guests that'll be also helping us to coat the students, so we'll be announcing their names as well. Okay, ready? All right. Joshua Benner, coated by Tanya Cohorn. Katie Berryman. All right. Okay. Emily Bertram, who's coated this afternoon by Jessica Houlihan. Joshua Borkowski. The timing good? Okay. Caitlin Bush. Jana Chadwell. Tierra Cochran. Sandy Combs. Robert Doris. Chris Dyer. Elle Eggleston. Amelia Elling. Daniela Fossen. Courtney Fields. Harrison Free, who will be coated this afternoon by Professor David Farringer. Slavi Goncheva. Shelby Gray. Drew Greenlee. Sorry, Drew. Drew Greenlee. Okay. Zachary Gregory, who was coded this afternoon by Dr. Caton Merchant. Catherine Hardesty. Darby Harrison is coded this afternoon by Brian McDowell. Tara Hefner, who is coded this afternoon by Greg Moore. Annika Hoffman. Leah Hollander. Ronald Karch. Lindsay Kenyon. Lindsay Kraft. Erica Laws. Katya Lundberg. Caroline Lynch. Michaela Magsig. Andrea Marchin, who is coded this afternoon by Zachary Haar and Evan Yates. Kelly McCormick, coded this afternoon by Don Jones. Marissa McDowell. Ben McKinney. Stephanie Moore. Elizabeth Moss, coded this afternoon by Dr. Kelly Moss. Melanie Merzlak, coded this afternoon by Holly Stills. Grishma Patel. Jade Priest. Corey Ramsey. Norella Reyes. Adam Rowe. Jonathan Ross. Caitlin Seward. Micah Short. Brooke Simmons. Jenna Stevens. Anita Stewart. Anna Stone. Shriyanshi Suradevra. Come on. I practiced that one. You good? Okay. I'm sorry, Val. That I got caught up in the pronunciation. This is Val Slees. She was coding Shriyanshi. Thanks. Thanks, Val. Okay. Okay. Abby Sweeney, who is coded this afternoon by Dr. Jeremy Sweeney. And Dai Chow, coded this afternoon by Lucas Kennedy. Michaela Wheatley, coded this afternoon by Amanda Bright. Colin Wright. Anna Zapata. So with that, would you join me in congratulating the class of 22? So next, with the administration of the professional oath, I'd like to welcome to the podium Professor David Farringer.
Thank you, Dr. Shore. It is a great pleasure and honor for me to give the, or I should say, lead the professional oath. You have just done and put on your white coats. That white coat is a symbol. And now you're cloaked in the symbol of medicine and healthcare. Anytime you put your white coat on and go down the hallway of a clinic, hospital, any facility, people are going to recognize you're a healthcare provider. Comes with responsibility. If you don't realize that, wait till you start wearing your white coat all the time. And even I'm sure your family and friends have already come up to you and said, "Oh, what's this?" I don't know, I'm a second month in my PA training. Or if you get like I do sometimes, my wife will have to correct me. I'll be standing in a line, I'll look at somebody's neck and go, is that something that needs to be taken off? Is that, cancerous? And I get kind of antsy, and she said, "Stop it." Becomes automatically. So I'm going to ask the class of 2022 to stand and rise with me, and we'll say the oath in unison. I will start it, and I want you to raise your right hand. This is a pledge. This is an oath, something that's very solemn, very serious. And together, I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility I will uphold the tenets of patients' autonomy I will recognize and promote I will treat equally I will hold in confidence the information I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations. I will actively seek I will work with all members of the healthcare team I will respect my professional relationship. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. Turn around. Turn around, face the audience. Let's give them a big hand again. Thank you. You may be seated. It is my honor and privilege to introduce our next speaker. He's going to be giving the closing remarks. Dr. Subbu Saha currently serves as our UKPAS Program Medical Director starting July 1 of this year, and was given also the title Chief of Transition to Practice and Advanced Training Programs. That's a long title, but this is a giant of a man. Not only is he known here at the University of Kentucky, but around the Commonwealth, around the USA, and international. He is a professor of surgery in the College of Medicine and Director of Council Chair at Gill Heart Institute. For nearly 35 years, Dr. Saha and his wife, Becky Saha, have considered Lexington their home. Following a distinguished career in private practice, Dr. Saha joined the faculty of UK College of Medicine in 2002 as a professor of surgery in the Division of Cardiothoracic Surgery, and I'm so glad he did. In addition to being an active surgery schedule, Dr. Saha conducts outreach clinics in several rural communities of eastern Kentucky. He is an avid mentor to surgical residents, medical students, and now PA students. And he's been a proponent of PA profession from the get-go. It's not in the script, but I have learned that he was probably the first doctor in Lexington to hire PA at Central Baptist back then. Dr. Saha and his wife made a very special gift through the Saha Foundation for Cardiovascular Research and Education to the establishment of the Saha Cardiovascular Research Fund. The endowment substantially adds to the Cardiovascular Research Center resources, bolstering the expectation and the exceptional efforts of the UK physician science and researchers to better understand and seek cure for cardiovascular disease. Dr. Saha's medical interests also includes transmyocardial revascularization, carotid atherosclerotic, and device therapy for hypertension. And it's my pleasure, because I work with him on a daily basis, and when I'm not in the office, he'll call me and say, "Where are you, David?" Dr. Saha. Love you.
So it was Julia who asked me to give me closing remarks. I said, "What should I say?" She said, "I don't know, whatever you want to say, but don't take more than 2 minutes." I said, "Well, there's nothing I can say in 2 minutes because I don't know too much. But first of all, I want to congratulate each one of you and the family. You have joined a profession, very unique. You'll be making a difference in the life of people, patient, family. And just to tell you a story, I got a call today from a patient of mine from Frankfurt. She's 89 years old, worried about me. She said, Doc, I hear there's a lot of snow out there. Be careful driving. This is a person I've taken out a lung 30-some years ago. What I want to communicate that to you is the human connection is very valuable. You know what I felt? It's good. So I asked one of the dean of the College of Medicine, I said, I'm going over there. He said, why are you going over there? I said, well, that's my new house. I got drafted by this man. She's Scott 1, Dr. Leppert. And I have a reason I call him Scott 1 and Scott 2 right beside him. He's the chairman of the department. That's to keep it straight. So I said, where are you going? I said, well, I'm going to meet these young people. I'm excited. So what should I say? Anything profound? He said, you're a surgeon. What is profound about you? All you know, Carden. So I said, oh, should I say something funny? He said, no, don't try that because you'll mess it up. It's true. So I said, what am I going to say? Well, I'm going to talk to you about something. You are joining a profession. Now, some of you heard about that. Healthcare industry is the largest industry in the country. Think about it. 20% of our GDP, that is gross domestic product, that is services and other things that we do, 20% of that goes to healthcare. This is the largest employer. So you have joined that group. You are a part of the team. You know, when I was a young man, it was all, a surgeon was the captain of the ship, all those things gone. And it should have gone a long time ago. So you joined the team, and I heard, so you have to work in collaboration to make a difference in the life of a patient. Don't forget that patient and things, the oath you have taken. That's so special. I cannot add anything to it. So the issue will come before you. So I want to leave one little important thing is a cost, quality, and outcome. You're part of that team. We are 4% of the world population. We spend 25% of the healthcare market budget of this world. We spend 60% more money in healthcare than Germany, United Kingdom, Sweden, all those countries, 50 to 60%, various range. And our quality is not that good. The Commonwealth Foundation found us to be number 6. That bothers me. I think we're very smart. We have lots of drugs and devices, things we do. It's phenomenal. But you got to be part of that. How can we reduce the cost? We have waste and abuse. And I've been part of it. So you need to come make a difference. So you're going to be a burden for you, not only just taking care of the patient, but part of this larger society that we're all part of it. How we can reduce cost, how we can improve quality, and have a better outcome. We don't need to be sixth in the world about having an outcome, but you are a significant force making a difference. So take that responsibility, go forward. I don't think I should hold you back from, we have some food and drink? No? I know you're ready. So, but again, I want to thank every one of you being here, and I got to tell you, David has been my partner in the last several months, and we're doing things and doing good work. More things to hear about it, but again, congratulations.
Just a follow-up story with Dr. Saha. Probably about the second meeting I was with him in his office once we got started on this postgraduate education development. He was going down, we need to do this, we need to do this and this and this. And I said, it's done, it's done, it's done. He said, oh man, you're one step ahead of me. And I said, daggone it, now I have to be 2 steps ahead of you. He doesn't let grass grow under his feet. I say that behind his back, in front of his back. But we're so thankful that he's joined our team. We do have some food and refreshments. If you exit here, go out, make a right, and you go down to what we call the social staircase. You can't miss it. There will be some a reception food type thing there, not a sit-down meal. Can't afford that. But anyhow, thank you for coming today. A very special day in the lives of the class of 2022 and the parents, the friends that are here to witness this. And you don't have the tools of the trade yet, but that's coming up in August, the black bag ceremony with your stethoscopes and your hammers and stuff like that. So thank you guys, and we'll see you all back here in 2.5 years like the dean said. Thank you.